Alright guys, what I'm going to do is show you how I install 3 ways to turn on the light. You can turn it on from 2 different locations. What we got here is a panel feed coming in, and then you take your 12-2 Romex down to your first switch, your first 3-way. You got your hot, neutral, and ground. Then you go from switch 1 to your second switch, and what you're doing is you're taking travelers, 2 travelers, 1 neutral, 1 ground. What I'm going to do is my neutral is going from the panel through the first box, wire nut it, come over to the second 3-way, wire nut it, take it to my light. Then you're going to have, that's your neutral, so it's going from panel, switch straight through to the other switch to the light. So really it is going straight from the 100 amp panel straight over to your light. Then you got 2 travelers, which they just go from switch to switch. All they do is go from switch to switch. Now I'm going to show you over here what I've got. This is how I've got it set up, and then I am going to show you what so right here we went from, you got power coming in, and you got a little small breaker box, 20 amp breakers. I'm only using one, I've only got one side of it hot. And then you come from your panel box down to your switch, and then this is what I've got wire nutted, is my neutral. It's coming off here, coming down straight here. I'm wire nutting it. Coming over here, I wire nutted it here. It's coming up here to my, got it wire nutted right there, and then it's going straight up to my light. And then these, keep the camera a little better. And then these right here is your 2 travelers. They're coming up. This is the 12-3. This is the 12-3. You got your 2 travelers coming up, going over to your second switch. And all these do is go from switch to switch. And then your grounds, which I already have that done, but I got something I can show you on a demonstration here. If you see this, it's got a green wire nut on it. There's 2 of them here that's been twisted together. And I've got one here that I wanted to show you. This is basically the same thing there. But then what I want to do is, you're going to cut one of these off. Alright, and then you're going to get a green wire nut, and it has a hole right in the top of it there, so that your wire can slide over this one. So that is in there just like that. So then you just twist it on there, make sure it's good and tight. Alright, good and tight. Can't pull it off. So now, that is what you have right there. Same thing over here. Got the same thing right here. There's my travelers. This is my hot coming from my breaker. When I turn this on, gives the power to my switch. Then when you turn them off and on from 2 different locations, the travelers is where the power is going through. Then this one is called, what people call, or most electricians call it, a switch leg. And it is going from your second 3-way up to your light, and then that is what is actually going to turn the light on and off. So let me strip these wires real quick and start on the 3-way. And on your travelers, it does not matter. I'll show you here in a second, but there's 2 screws on your switch, and it does not matter as long as they are on the 2 screws that are for the travelers. Alright, now what I'm going to do is, it's called tuck. I'm tucking the neutral back in the back of the box because I don't want it in the way of the switch when I put it in there. Tuck it back in the back. Ground, I'm going to get it tucked back. So now I got my ground, hot wire, 2 travelers. Now here's the difference between a single pole switch. This is a single pole switch. It just has a place for a hot and a switch leg and a ground. It's got on and off on it. That is a single pole switch. That just works. That's just one place, one by one door. Now this is a 3-way. Got your ground. You got your, that's where your common goes. So my hot from the panel will go right here on this dark screw. The 2 screws here that are the same, that's your travelers. So more or less, these travelers are going to go, it's going to be black and red right there. And then the black and red over here. It's going to go right there. So then, let me go ahead and get this one done. Let's go over to the other one. So that's the ground. You always want to put your wire the same way your screw tightens. And what I mean by that is when I tighten this down, the screw's going to go this way, so it's going to wrap that around. That's not the drill I wanted. This is the one I want. It's got the actual. Alrighty, now I got my ground done first, so then you got your 2 travelers and your hot. I'm going to go ahead and put my hot right here. Now your 2 travelers. Got a black and a red. I'm not going to put it on the black on black, so it'll probably get people confused. So I'm going to put the red here because it does not matter on your travelers as long as you have them hooked up to the traveler side. Remember, you want to make sure you put them the exact same way the screw is tightening down, so it will wrap around the screw. And you always want to double check it if you use a little impact or a little drill, because you don't want to do it too tight to snap it, but you also want to get it snug, and then make sure you get them snug with the regular screwdriver. Alright, this is a plastic box, so I'm not going to put tape around it, but if it was a metal box, just for extra safety so it won't have a chance of shorting out, I would put tape around this. Now, just to make myself clear, I do not have power on this yet. I will here in a second, but I do not have power on it. You don't want to do it live. You always want to make sure your switches are level when you're finished. Alright, now I'll put a level on it here in just a second after I put my other level. I'll go ahead and put it on here and show you. It's not level, I can tell. So the bottom needs to move over a little bit. There we go, good and straight. So now when you put your cover on, it'll be good. Same thing over here. I want to go ahead. I'm going to tuck the neutral away. That's going straight to the light and the ground. And then I'm going to get my, these are my travelers. That is my switch leg, travelers, ground. So ground, switch leg, 2 travelers. Let me get these folded over. I always do my ground first. Make sure it's around the same way the screw's going. Just like that. This is my traveler, so I'm going to turn it, put it on first. Then these my 2 travelers are going next. And I'm not saying this is the best way, but it's the best way for me to do it. Now the travelers, I'm going to put the red. That way I won't get you confused. Opposite and on the same side as the switch leg. Kind of see how that curled around. Okay, now I do want to go over them just to make sure. Getting tight. Good tight. So now I want to put it in the box, and like I said, I'm not going to put any tape on it because it's not a metal box, plastic box. You just want to make sure the ground is not touching any screws but the ground screws. Fold them back in there. There we go. Now you just want to make sure you do have them level, which I'm going to do it without level first, and then I'll put a level on it when I'm done. So now all I have to do is move this over just a little bit. Hold on a second here. Okay, good and level. Now I'm going to take these and just kind of push these wires back. They're not really in the way, but you definitely don't want to skin them. Good. All right. Now for the light. Now the keyless light that I'm going to be putting in is just a regular old light. It just has your place for your hot. The darker color screw is for your switch leg, the black wire. And the lighter color is going to be the white for your neutral. There is no ground on here, so all I did was put it around this screw. Plastic box, it really doesn't matter, but I reckon it's better than nothing. So now I'm going to put my hot, or I'll go ahead and post do your neutral. It doesn't really matter, but this is just a little cheap light. I call it a keyless light, and it's used sometimes in small places, but it's not an expensive light at all. Okay, now that was good and tight, so now I'm just going to put these back in here. I got slides on them. Put it in there like that, up, down, and then I'm going to tighten it down and I'll show you. Okay, this is ceramic, so you don't want to do it too tight and bust it, but all right, now that's good there. So now I'll put a bulb in it just to all right, now I'm going to plug it in at my source here to feed the panel. So now I'm going to turn the breaker on. First three-way, we have light. Now your second one, which would be by two different doors, 1 and 2, off. On, off, on, off. That is how I do it. Not saying it's the best way, but it's my best way and easiest. What do you think about the change of the 12-3 wire? Used to be yellow, but just in a bigger sheeting, and now it's purple wire. Right here is if you want to watch. You can go to www.youtube.com/@MikeRaleigh27. If you got any questions and comments, at RaleighElectric.videos@gmail.com. If there's any certain videos you all would like for me to do about electrical, send me an email and I would sure do one and show you how I do it. Thank you. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Thank you.